friends, I want to talk with you today about some biographical sources that you might want to have in your reference library. First, I think it's important that we all have an understanding of what biographical sources are. Biographical sources are resources that can be used to learn about the lives of others. This is especially important in a reference library if you are situated in a K-12 building. Oftentimes, students are assigned tasks where they have to research about the life of a contemporary or a historical person. Having a wide variety of biographical sources would help support your students' education as well as the curriculum of your colleagues. A librarian can select the best biographical sources by taking into consideration the sources that are available as well as the needs of the users. When looking at the sources available, the librarian should consider the scope of the source, the accuracy of the source, current information available, and the format of the source. These things together will help the librarian make an informed decision about which resources are best to have in her collection. When evaluating the needs of the users, librarians should consider the types of questions that are generally asked, the depth of responses that are needed, the age of patrons, especially when considering your grade level as well as the reading level of your students, and the educational level of patrons. There are a lot of different types of biographical sources that a librarian can turn to add to her collection. Some of these include indexes, subject-based biographical tools, resources featuring ethnic or cultural heritage, obituaries, as well as many others. Sources that are best for a K-12 environment include indexes, which are databases that are going to put students in touch with a wide variety of different biographies. Print resources, these are the traditional biography books that I think many of us think of when we consider biographical resources. And web resources are very beneficial for students. It will give them the opportunity to get a quick insight into a certain individual. It might prompt them to do a little bit further deeper research down the line. Biographical indexes are useful for teachers and students to get a quick answer to the who's who question. Many public and school libraries have these biographical indexes at their fingers. They often come with your EBSCO subscription. I know in New York City that many of the biographical indexes connected with EBSCOhost are offered through the New York City Public Library System and therefore are accessible to all public school students. Biography Reference Center is just another example of a biographical index available on the EBSCOhost database. Biographical print resources can be purchased by grade level. They are often bundled together in deals from places like Scholastic, the New York City Book Buying Program, as well as other retailers. The librarian can more easily control the cost of biographical print resources because she can elect to purchase softcover books as opposed to hardcover books. She can limit the number of copies that she's getting, etc., etc. There are a wide variety of different book lists that incorporate biographical resources. The one on the screen is just one that I found at scholastic.com. There are many others. What are following are a couple of different biographical resources that I think it would be beneficial to have in a school library. The first book, I Am Malala, is a good resource to have for students, especially if you are teaching in a very diverse community. This book will help students see themselves as well as others in their story. It's an engaging and high-interest text, and it really would help students learn about another person their age that could be seen as a hero. The Middle School Rules of Charles Tillman is a good biography for students to read. It will hook boys as well as other reluctant readers. It is high interest and also engaging. Being Jazz, My Life as a Transgender Teen would be beneficial to have in your collection to support your diverse learners, as well as to foster inclusivity and support students of the LGBTQ community and their allies. Web resources should not be overlooked when considering biographical resources for your collection. There are many different web resources available for students that they can use to get some background information on an individual, and they could also use as the beginning of their research. The Library of Congress is a great website to use for students who are researching about historical figures. It would connect with a lot of the curriculum in your social studies classrooms. Biography.com is another web resource that would be really beneficial for students who are looking for contemporary individuals as well as historical figures. I hope you found this presentation helpful. Thank you so much. Have a great day.